Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a really terrible camera setup. This is great. Hang? I've got a jet. I should have done that before I started. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the first time I'm doing a Chelsea video in a month and a bit, maybe. I think the last Chelsea video I did was about Jules Koundé, right? When we were linked with him, and I mean, from seeing how Sane spun him today, thank God we didn't get him. I'm joking, but anyway, right. Quite a lot has changed since I last did a Chelsea video. We've signed Marc Cucurella, Kalidou Koulibaly, I believe, to be signing before Koundé. I can't remember. We signed Cucurella, I know that. Aubameyang's coming, Fofana, and we panic loaned Zakaria on the last day of the window because we realised, oh shit, we've got no midfielders. And then we sacked Tuchel, which is mental. And I don't know how I feel about it. I still don't. I love Tuchel. Like, he was very passionate, but obviously all the Chelsea fans love him because he was such a passionate manager, and you know, he obviously won us that Champions League. But we're starting to call out Havertz for living off that Champions League goal. We've been pretty dead under Tuchel for a long time. We have played ugly football for time. He doesn't get the best out of a single one of our attackers or midfielders, to be perfectly honest. Like, he gets the best out of the defence, but that's it. So seeing him go, obviously, I'm not too pleased about it. It's weird timing. We just spent 200 and something odd million on buying in players. So my finger's fucking fucked, right? That's why I keep looking down. Spent 200 odd million buying in players, and then we just sort of sack him. It feels weird timing, but this was obviously pre-planned. We planned this a long time ago. Well, the owners did anyway. You could tell because Potter came in so quickly, and you know, it was just done so quickly. You could tell that we wanted Potter for a while, and if Tuchel had a good start to the season, maybe we would have put it off, but he didn't have a great one, to be honest. We shouldn't have as many points as we do. That West Ham goal that got ruled out was a disgrace. It was ridiculous. But, you know, here we are. He's gone. I am, however, over the moon with who we've replaced him with. Graham Potter. Oh yes. We were getting linked with fucking Pochettino and all of this shit. No, thank you. I don't want any of Pochettino. Graham Potter, perfect. He will get the most out of our attackers. That's what he does. Don't get me wrong, we won't start off great underneath him. And to be honest, I can actually see us losing to Salzburg today. But he plays such nice football. It's such attractive football. It's so nice to watch. My hair's fucking all over the damn place. That's not made it better. It's so nice to watch his teams play football. And that's all I've wanted for so long. I mean, obviously it's not all I've wanted, but you know what I mean. Just some nice football where our attackers, where we have a striker as our top scorer, not Mason Mount, who's a midfielder, not Jorginho, who's a midfielder, not this season. I'm pretty sure our top scorer, I suppose it's Sterling, who's at least an attacker, but he's not a striker. Is it Sterling? I can't remember. Just attackers being our top scorers, some decent football, right? And I'm over the moon about it. Don't get me wrong. There's two ways it can go. It can go Sir Alex Ferguson stepping into a big job and fucking showing up, or it could go David Moyes stepping up into a big job and being shit. However, if we're gonna get rid of Tuchel, Potter's by far our best option. I mean, Zidane would never take it. Allegri, fuck off. Pochettino, but he managed to make Messi bad. He made Messi bad. How? How bad do you have to be as a manager to get that little out of Lionel Messi? I have no idea. But what I want to move on to is what I think our starting lineup will be. I'm probably going to do a video on FIFA when I get home about what I think our starting lineup will be at the end of next season's transfer window, because I like doing transfer videos, alright? But what I'll do now is I'll do what I think our lineup will be for the game against Salzburg, which I'm just going to pick as our strongest lineup. Oh no, not for just our strongest lineup, because there'll be people injured. So fuck that. But what I think our strongest lineup will be, I don't think there's actually going to be a change of formation, really. I think it'll stick with a bit of a, a 5-2-3 sort of, or like it'll still be three at the back. I'm sure we've got so many players that play better in three at the back. I don't think it makes sense to change it, especially for the first game. Maybe after a couple, but for the first game, there's no point in changing it. I think we'll play. I think we'll play like a 3-4-3, honestly, because obviously the wing backs will push up more. I think Edouard Mendy will start in goal, despite how I think Kepa can work with Graham Potter's system, especially considering Mendy is shocking with his feet. Oh my god. You're let alone two left feet, mate, he's got no feet. There's nothing there. But Kepa, people forget how bad he actually is as a goalkeeper. He had two good games, and not even good, two average games where he didn't really make that many saves. He had the Villarreal one where sure he saved a penalty. Cool, but he didn't really do much in the game. He didn't get a clean sheet in the game. And he had the Liverpool one where he skied a penalty and he was the reason we lost. Like, he barely made a save the whole game and then skied a penalty. That was his two games last season, and people are actually saying he deserves to get in over Mendy. Now, don't get me wrong, Mendy has hugely dropped off after AFCON. Hugely. No, Kepa, no. And I'll get on to talk about Kepa more when I say that what I think will happen in January. But I think Mendy will be, at least up until January, starting goalkeeper. Back three, it's piss easy, isn't it? It's Fofana on the right, it's Koulibaly on the left, and it's Silva through in the middle. It's just the strongest we've got. Well, Chalobah will rotate in there as well, and possibly Cucurella as well, because Potter did play Cucurella at left centre back a couple of times last season. But I mean, Silva's so good. Fofana can learn from him while being next to him, and he's decent enough as it is Wesley Fofana. He's not bad. I mean, we just spent 69 million on him, lol. So he's got to have something about him. I mean, I know he's got something about him. I've watched him play. And then Koulibaly on the other side, who hasn't looked as fantastic as in his Napoli days, but he still looked good. That works for me. Like, he still looked good. Left wing back, Cucurella. I love Ben Chilwell. I think he's fantastic, but Potter's gonna play Cucurella, isn't he? Like, Cucurella knows Potter's system because he's played in it for a year. He's going to know it, so he's going to be the automatic starter. Whether Chilwell comes in and takes over that role from Cucurella, I'm not sure, but it's gonna start with Cucurella in that role. And then right wing back, best right back in the world, Reece James. He is by far and away the best right back in the world. Alexander Arnold's getting exposed every week. Literally every single Liverpool goal that they concede comes down that left-hand side where Trent Alexander-Arnold gets beaten. And then they get past him and they have to go through Joe Gomez. Woo! Fucking hell, that's scary, isn't it? Van Dijk's aura just stood there trying to defend. Nah, mate, they're shocking. Kyle Walker's okay. Hakimi's a pace merchant. He's the best in the world. End of. Two midfielders. Strongest possible starting lineup: Kante and Kovacic, obviously. But unfortunately, both of them apparently have legs made out of fucking toothpicks. So I think the midfield we'll actually end up seeing quite a lot will be Zakaria next to Mount. I think. Because Mount sort of offers that going forward that Kovacic offers, and Zakaria sort of offers that defensive blockade that Kante offers. They're sort of just like worse versions of the they're just worse versions of the original players, and I mean that's what they're for, right? When they get injured, you bring in the slightly worse version. So I think we'll end up seeing Zakaria next to Mount quite a lot this season. I think Jorginho will drastically lose out on game time because he's shit in the transition, and that's Potter's that's his football. You transition, you play nice football, you come forward quickly, and Jorginho can't move faster than a dead snail, so he's not gonna get many minutes. I don't think he might come on in the last 20 if we're going full defensive, but fuck that. He won't be playing. He'll be gone next summer. We'll give Kante the contract extension he wants, and Jorginho will be off ski. Then we get to the attack, which I think will start off in the first game. I think it will be Sterling on the left. It will be Pulisic will start on the right, and Aubameyang will start up front. However, I think over the season, Broja will be melded into that striker role, and I think he'll be great in it. But I think for the start, Aubameyang will be starter, and then him and Broja will swap roles after a little while. Sterling, fantastic on the left, probably been our best player other than Reece James this season. Pulisic, this is make or break for Christian Pulisic. Hakim Ziyech, I never want to see him in a Chelsea shirt again. After that performance in the Champions, that was the worst. That was Bakayoko against Watford levels. That's what that was. I don't think he made a successful pass when he came on. It was shocking. I never want to see him in a Chelsea shirt again. I never want to see him play football again for anyone. No one else should have to go through that. Pulisic, this is such a big, not even season at this point, just stretch of games. If he can play well for 5 games in a row, show a bit of consistency for the first time in his career, then he's got a chance at staying at this football club. If he's shocking, I honestly think we might let him go in January. He kind of wanted to leave. And if he's bad, then fuck him, get him out. And before, you've got an agenda against Pulisic. No. I don't have an agenda against any Chelsea player. If they start playing well, then I'll like them. If they're playing shit, then I won't like them. How hard is that to understand? Pulisic has been shit for 2.5 years. Well, no, actually, that's way too many. Since lockdown, because I can't even comprehend year times at this point, all right? I haven't even known what day it is for about 4 months. I don't know. But since lockdown, he's been shit. Since that injury against Arsenal in the FA Cup final, actually. Up until then, he was brilliant. After then, he's been shocking. So if he starts playing like that again, get him in that first team. Get him in there. I'm happy with that. If not, fuck him off. This is make or break for Christian Pulisic at Chelsea. And I really want him to make it work. I really do. It's going to be hard for him. Another player who I think the rest of the season is actually make or break for Chelsea is Kai Havertz. Because he has been living off that Champions League final goal. He was pathetic for massive stretches of last season. Like, I can name you his best moments in a Chelsea shirt. He's been here, since Lampard, so... Kai Havertz has been here for 3 managers for Chelsea. He has 2 good moments in a Chelsea shirt. He has less good moments than he's played for managers. He's played under Lampard, Tuchel, and tomorrow Potter. Oh no, today I suppose. Today Potter. He's got that Champions League final goal, and he's got the goal against Newcastle when he mugged Dan Burn off. Name me anything else he's done. Oh no, sorry. He's level because he got that hat trick against, who is it, Barnsley, in his first game. Nice, yeah. What an incredible. He's been shit. 72 million. He's been shit. And he's an icon because he scored that goal. But wow, has he been awful. We ragged on Timo Werner for days, and Havertz has played more games than him, scored less, assisted less. He's been worse. If honestly, switch the roles. If Timo Werner scores that goal in the Champions League final, he'd be viewed as a very decent attacker for us. He would, because Havertz was viewed as a good attacker for us for ages when he was shit. So why wouldn't Werner be viewed as a good attacker when he was okay? He wasn't actually that bad if you look at the stats, Werner. He played well in most games. He missed chances, don't get me wrong, but he still scored. So Havertz is on major fraud watch at the moment. And honestly, so is Mason Mount. He's been terrible so far this season, but I will give both Havertz and Mason Mount the benefit of the doubt. They're both not playing in their position. Like, neither of them. Mount isn't a right winger, and Havertz is not a centre forward. He never was. He never will be. But unfortunately, they're both cams, and we don't really employ cams. To speak of FIFA, right? It's easier for me. We don't really employ that in our system. We don't have a free man midfield because we can't afford to. We need a free back, so we can't have a free man in midfield. It just can't happen. So both of them have to sort of play out of their position. They've been poor in doing so, but it's sort of what you expect, to be fair. I think Aspilicueta will get some minutes. Chalobah will obviously get some. I think, who else even is there in our squad, man? Holy shit. Jorginho, but he'll barely play. What's his name? Carney Chukwuemeka. I fucked up his name the first time. He will get minutes under par. You know he will. He'll get a lot of minutes, and that's good because he's good. I'm pure blanking on that squad now, but that's the main starting 11, right? We get to January, and I think Todd Boehly will be willing to spend for Parr. He was willing to spend for Tuchel, who he was planning on sacking, so he's going to be willing to spend for Potter. And I think Graham Potter will make 4 signings. This might be bold because it's January, but also it's Todd Boehly, he's American. He's willing to throw money around, and maybe not January, but I think these signings will happen maybe next summer then, if not in January. We go to January, and I think we'll buy Robert Sanchez from Brighton or Diogo Costa. He works as well, but I think we'll go for Sanchez just because of that Brighton connection, What would be ideal would be a swap deal. Give them Kepa, pay 20 million, 35 million overall. Kepa's only worth about 15. 35 million overall deal. That works for me. Robert Sanchez will come in. Obviously, he knows the system. He's perfect for the system. He's a very good goalkeeper. And if Mendy is being shocking, he's better than Kepa. Like, Sanchez is better than Kepa. He could come in and just take that number 1 spot off of Mendy. And Mendy can feel what Kepa felt, and he can fucking get his act together, right? Or even just become a bench keeper. Mendy's achieved probably everything he ever wanted to as a footballer, especially considering his story. So if I was him, I'd be perfectly happy with being a bench goalkeeper at Chelsea, to be perfectly honest. So there's one signing. I think a second signing will actually, I think this one's much less likely than Sanchez. Another Brighton boy, Leandro Trossard. I think in January we're going to let Hakim Ziyech go and really raid Brighton and get Leandro Trossard. Or alternatively, if not Trossard, Pedro Neto. Any winger, anyone, any winger that isn't Hakim Ziyech, alright? Neto or Trossard. I actually prefer Neto now that I think about it. So I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to stick with Pedro Neto over Trossard. Now, I do rate Trossard very highly. Pedro Neto's just better, isn't he? No, I meant to say them the other way around, to be honest. But Neto is better than Trossard. And I'd love to see him at Chelsea. I think Arsenal fans would love to see him at Arsenal. But I think Neto would come in and, if Pulisic wasn't playing fantastically, he'd really give him a run for his money. Like how Jota came into Liverpool and he just started over Firmino. He came in and he just booted him out. Became a starter. I can see Neto doing that to Pulisic at Chelsea. If Pulisic obviously isn't getting his act together, and if not, then we can rotate them. We only have 3 wingers and 4 if Ziyech stays, but then back down to 3 if we sell Ziyech. So rotation, you know what I mean? Next up, I think. Well, actually, to be honest, in January, I think they're the only 2 that we possibly make. And that's only if Mendy doesn't get his act together and if... Oh, no, sorry, there is one more. If Mendy doesn't get his act together and if Pulisic doesn't get his act together, I think we'll make both of those signings. And I think whether them 2 happen or not, I think we will make this 3rd one. Edson Alvarez from Ajax. This, you could say, depends on how well Zakaria does, because we've got a buy option for him, I believe. But honestly, I think if Zakaria does well, we'll buy Edson Alvarez anyway. Just for midfield, like defensive midfielders, man. we've got Kante and Jorginho. And Jorginho isn't a defensive midfielder. He's not. He just plays slightly further back than Mount and Gallagher do. Kante's all we got, and he's injured all the time. He's injured all the time. And if we do want to eventually transition to a three-man midfield, we're going to need rotation in there. We're maybe going to have games where we play two defensive midfielders. Kante can't do that for 90 minutes. Like, if we're playing two CDMs, even if we start Kante next to Zakaria, Kante's going to have to come off at the 60th minute, or he'll be injured before that. One of the two of them things is going to happen. So I think we will get Edson Alvarez. I think we'll offer 50 mil. Ajax will do it early on in the window. Ajax will have time to accept it and find a replacement, and they will. And that'll be it. Because Edson Alvarez really wanted to come to Chelsea. He really wanted to leave, and I think we'll get him in. And I think because of that, we'll give up on Declan Rice. I don't think we'll get Rice if we get Alvarez. And I don't know how mad about that I would be. Then we transition further. We end up at the end of next transfer window. We end up at the end of next summer. This time next year. This is how the team, I think, will be looking. Robert Sanchez starting in goal. Fofana right centre-back with Trevor Chalobah as his rotation. Middle centre, again, I'm going to end up doing this on FIFA just to probably play a career mode with it for a bit, but here we go. Centre-back, Thiago Silva with Ethan Ampadu as his rotation, because Spezia manager, who he is loaned out to, has said multiple times that we think he will be a centre-back in our future, so obviously we do. So I think he'll be the backup for Silva for a little bit. Maybe even start over him sometimes, because Silva's 39, he will be by then. He's got to slow down eventually. And then on the left-hand side, Koulibaly, Cucurella sort of thing, and Levi Colwill will come in and he'll start getting game time anywhere across that back three. You can put that man anywhere across that back three and he'll work. I think it'll still be Cucurella on the left, still be James on the right. Then I think the midfield, I think we'll stay with the 5-2-3. I do. I think Mount is going to excel in that centre mid position. I think he, actually closer to his real position. The ability to get into the box late, the ability to create from the midfield instead of being stuck out on the wing, especially the right wing where Kai Havertz likes to drift over onto the right anyway, which practically makes him pointless because now there's two players in the same place. They can't do their own thing creatively. It's an issue. I think he'll excel in that centre mid position, and I think he'll start next to Edson Alvarez. I think we'll sell Jorginho, we'll keep Kante, but just as rotation. We'll buy... I don't know about Zakaria, but we'll keep Kovacic as well. And then, of course, we'll have Chukwuemeka in there. We'll have Gallagher in there as well. Perfect. It's peak for Billy Gilmore, but honestly, he's shit anyway, so I don't care. Then we get to the attack, and I think Broja by this point will be set in stone as our starting striker. I think he will work under Potter as well. I think he'll be good. Sterling will also, I think, be set in stone left winger Raheem Sterling, probably second name on the team sheet after Reece James. And then on the right wing, I think, firstly, I'm thinking Pedro Neto. I think, I'd love Pulisic to succeed, but what I've seen of him, I just can't see it. I can't see him making it work, and it's a shame, it really is. But I can't see him making it work at Chelsea. So I'm thinking either Pedro Neto on that right side. I'm thinking maybe Kai Havertz, because he actually had most of his joy in his last season at Leverkusen over on that right-hand side. So maybe he'll be stuck there by Potter and maybe it'll work. If not Neto, if not Havertz, Rafael Leão? Maybe? Who knows? Maybe by that time, Graham Potter will have been sacked. I don't know. You can't predict the future with this fucking football club. We'll probably lose to Salzburg and then we'll be hearing Potter out already. So, who knows? But I think under Potter we could really cook as an attacking team, and I think we could be quite scary, to be honest. We won't win the league though, because, Man City will. Haaland's going to score about 45. See ya.